Greetings, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You are now listening to the podcast of Forward Focus, Kim. Keep it moving. So today we want to talk about the idea of what metaphysical analysis means. And it's a big word that more or less says that you are on a physical vibration and it is leading you to become your better version through practice and the processing of realizing what you need to holistically place in your life in order for life to work for you. So everyone has a passion. Everyone is here on a mission. However, many people forget while they're living their daily lives why they're here. So this is going to kind of put kind of a vibrational aspect to, how you think. So let's get right into it. So the first thing we need to know is that metaphysical is your definition. No one can create that definition for you. And it's just like mental telepathy during a time when people were unable to speak the same language. They understood based upon verbal cues, based upon mental aspects of doing things, experiencing and observation. So with that being said, when we think of meta, it is the change from the physical realm to the higher vibrational beingness. Some people have metaphysical programs. Some people have metaphysical, mental strategies online. You can Google that to find out what makes you more comfortable. But to me, metaphysical was all about going within in the privacy of my own inner beingness. I was not trying to, find my higher self with a group of people, because it does something to the soul. It does something to the spirit. When we are awakening, it should be just between us. The awakening should happen between us, not between an instructor or student, not between a husband or a wife. To find the solar vibrational self, we must do certain cleansing rituals. We must get our minds right. We must be high vibrational, meaning nothing should be. Many people fast. Other people, they cleanse themselves from alcohol, drugs. There should be no type of synthetic or natural substances within the body. When we are finding our metaphysical beingness, when we're aligning ourselves to who we used to be based on, what life has taught us and how we have been affected and impacted by that teaching. So then the next thing we do is we don't allow people to know what we're doing. We just because when people know what it is you're working on, there's a lot of distractions that come. When children know that you're upstairs doing your final exam and you need utter quiet, that's when they get the loudest. It's just that is the way of the world. And, you may feel that you have the vibrational abilities to shut down other areas of existence while life is happening around you. In the metaphysical plane, what you must do is elevate that level and frequency higher. You cannot stay stuck and stagnated in the same realm, because if you do, you will either match that energy that's distracting you, which will then impede upon your vibrational practice, or you'll take that energy with you and it shouldn't be there with you. It should not be there with you to find your vulnerabilities of finding you. Okay. Psychologically, this is a very crucial time, because what happens is you let go of all the old, the things that no longer serve your higher good, and you move into the realm of abundance. You move into the realm of awakening. And sometimes when we awaken, we find ourselves going through some real chaotic times that we never would have thought we would have awakened to. The image of who life has forced us to become We talked about the spiritual bullies. We talked about the physical bullies that exist on the plane of low vibrational standards. You think of the gang affiliations between the Crips and the Bloods. Just because you live in a community, back then you didn't have the right to be your own master over your soul, over your being, over your just, actions. Because if you did, then you would be looked at as the op. Being looked at as the op would then cause friction in your world. And so today, when we look at metaphysical, we want to look at that exactly as a bully running a gang. On a physical vibration, we always want to stay centered on making sure that we are the master of our fate, that we understand that we're going through this process. So to do this in a public setting is very upsetting to me, because it is an awareness that everyone will vibe on a different frequency. No one will be on the same vibration. And it is something that you have to do for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, to intune how you're going to make this appropriate in your life. So I don't want to talk too long on this because it is very deep. I want to go step by step. And this is a kind of bite-sized conduit of what metaphysical planning is all about. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a journal. You want to write in the journal what your plans are. You want to already know the destination before you start out on the journey, so you will not get distracted. You'll be able to know the differences between why you're looking at this from this point of view versus where you are. So it must align. It must match the frequency. You do what you say you're going to do to get to your destination. So yeah, you can sightsee, but if you're going to Alaska, you have to take the freeway that's going to take you there. You will not be able to get there by going to New York. I mean, you may go through New York to get to Alaska. I'm not sure, but you know what I'm trying to say. So the metaphysical process is to be aware with who you are. So write in your journal, be real with yourself, have a destination, see that destination as something successful in your life, and then go back over it and say to yourself, now I'm going to walk that path to get to the destination of where I want the metaphysical to take me. Because as you see the colors before you, these are the chakras. You go from the root to get to the problem, to vibe out where you want to be, all the way up to the Kundalini rising, to where you are essentially allowing yourself to be who you are while going through the process of learning who you are to meet your higher self on the other side. You're going to go through some of the challenges in between those colors in order to find out how selfish you are, how egotistical you are. You're going to have to let go of the ego, but you still keep it for your purposes, whatever you want to do with it. No one can tell you what to do with your ego, because it goes from an egoic position, ego, to ego. When you hit the higher realms of colors that are before you, when you hit the level of, okay, we go red for the root, orange for the sacral, yellow for the solar plexus, green for the heart, blue for the communication and the way you see things. Once you start to get there, you start to know yourself. And as you grow higher in the chakra practice, you're going to find that the higher level colors are going to vibrate with the concept that you are more spiritual. You're in your spiritual awakening. You're moving to your awareness. You're moving to your flexibility. You are becoming who you're going to be. Now, one thing about this before we conclude is that you never will remain the same. You will always have continual journeys that are going to physically, egoically die off so that the higher vibrational self will be able to come forward and significantly show you who you have become. So you're going to experience that new person for a time. And then after that time, you're going to elevate a little more. And it's baby incremental steps. So be very, very, very patient with yourself. Do not assume that you're going to get it today, because you will not. And it will drive you crazy. Don't live in the mental insanity of the physical dimensions of reality and what it has told you. Because to elevate higher, you will have to let all that go. So when a new beginning begins, it is unknown. So you don't have all the answers. You have no idea what you're doing on that plane. That's why they say for every level, there's a new energy that is going to frequency what it is you're going to want to do. And then there's hidden agendas that you must watch out for on every level. And so with that being said, I want you to really, really seek out what your definition of metaphysical is. It's amazing how metaphysical went from the holistic practices, the approaches of looking at life from a higher vibrational standpoint, to the medical industry. And I keep saying medical when I say metaphysical, because it goes so fast, you know. It goes really fast when you say the word quickly. And so I think that there is a subliminal message there that says that, know the difference. For those of you who believe so much in the medical field, pay attention to those who have went on before you and how did that work out for them. If you see a process that is happening on a frequent basis, then you may need to change up certain areas in the way that you think about life and the way that you think about, health and healing. Because again, you are the sergeant over your life, and you are the one that is going to make the decisions on what is really going to happen. Okay. So I thank you so much for being here. I hope that summed up everything. I tried to do it under a certain amount of time, but I still hit the 12-minute mark. So please leave your comments in the comment box below, and also share some of your perspectives of what you find in this video, and if it was helpful to you. If you think I should go a different route, or if you think I should include certain things, feel free, because this is a journey that we are sharing together. All right. Have a great one, and we'll see you next time.